You know, when you hear a bird singing outside your window, what do you think of? They're beautiful, for sure, but what if they're doing more than just singing? What if they're actually sending us a message, a really important one, about the health of our planet? Let's tune in and find out what they're trying to tell us.
And that's really the heart of what we're talking about today. Think about it, because birds are so finely tuned to their environment. They're like our planet's early warning system. They are, quite literally, the canaries in the global coal mine. When they start to struggle, it's a clear and direct message that something is wrong.
Okay, so before we go any further, let's just make sure we're on the same page. When we talk about global warming, we mean the long-term heating of the planet, mostly caused by us burning fossil fuels. Now, this isn't just about a few extra hot summer days. It's a huge disruption to the natural rhythm of, well, everything.
So how exactly does a warming planet throw a bird's life into total chaos? And believe me, this isn't some far-off future problem. It's happening right now. We're seeing major disruptions in three key areas: their food, their homes, and even their ancient travel plans.
For thousands of years, nature has worked like a perfectly synchronized clock, right? Birds show up for their breeding season just in time for an all-you-can-eat insect buffet. But here's the problem. Warming temperatures are making that clock run fast for the insects. They're hatching earlier and earlier, so when the baby birds finally hatch, hungry and screaming for food, the buffet is closed. The feast is already over, and this food mismatch is a total disaster for their survival.
Now, just imagine your own neighborhood slowly becoming unlivable. That's exactly what's happening to birds all over the globe. As their homes heat up, they have to pack up and find somewhere new. Some songbirds in North America have already shifted their entire territories hundreds of miles north in just a couple of decades. But this move is so risky. They're flying into unfamiliar territory with new predators and more competition. It's basically a refugee crisis for birds, and it's all being driven by our changing climate.
And listen, this isn't just some abstract data on a spreadsheet. We can see it with our own eyes, with birds like the swallow. People who watch birds in Japan have noticed that swallows are showing up earlier and earlier every year. They're trying to adapt, right? They're responding to those warmer temperatures. But it's a huge gamble. Will their food be there? Will the nesting sites be ready? There are no guarantees.
But here's the thing. This story isn't just about the birds. When they're in trouble, it creates a massive domino effect. The whole system starts to wobble, and that's an ecosystem that we all, kind of depend on.
Let's just follow the dominoes for a second. If you have fewer birds eating insects, what happens? You can get these huge pest outbreaks that just destroy forests and our crops. And what about the fruit-eating birds? Well, they're nature's master gardeners. They spread seeds everywhere, helping forests regrow. When their numbers drop, that whole process grinds to a halt. The health of our entire landscape is at risk.
So yeah, it really boils down to two jobs that are absolutely vital. Birds are our natural pest control service and our master seed dispersers. They're not just pretty to look at, they are essential workers for a healthy planet. An ecosystem just can't function properly without them.
I know, hearing all this can feel, well, a little overwhelming. But the story doesn't have to end there. In fact, this message from the birds is a really powerful call to action. So let's talk about how we can move from just being worried to actually doing something constructive.
And we can really jump in on three different levels. First, there's the personal stuff, reducing our own carbon footprint. Then we can think locally. Let's protect the green spaces we have and maybe even make our own backyards more bird-friendly. And finally, we can think globally by supporting the big organizations out there on the front lines. The point is, every single step, big or small, really does matter.
But beyond all of that, there's one more thing, something every single one of us can do. And honestly, it might just be the most powerful tool we have to help turn this whole thing around.
So think about it for a second. With everything we've talked about, what's the one thing that could possibly kickstart all the other actions?
It's this simple and this profound. Our attention. Just paying attention. That's it. It's the first most critical step. Because you can't care about something if you don't even notice it's there.
So how do you put that attention to work? Well, it's pretty cool, actually. The next time you take a walk in the park, just look, listen. This is how birdwatching goes from being a hobby to being a vital form of citizen science. When you notice which birds are around, when they show up, how they act, you're collecting priceless data. And when you share what you see, you're helping scientists build a global picture of what's happening. You become a witness for nature.
So we're right back where we started.
The birds, through their songs, their journeys, their day-to-day struggles, they are sending us a clear, urgent message about the state of our world. The only question left is, are we listening?